Hi guys! Today I'm going to read for my favorite actors and one sports star. So I have two favorite actors and one favorite sports star. And this is just for fun, this is entertainment only. The reason I want to read for them is I'm actually doing another exercise, and that is how to read for yourself objectively. So I put myself in here as well. And then I'm not going to look. I'm going to give them all one of these. And I'll explain how that works. And then, without looking, I'm going to pick one, read, using the Celtic Cross and my other tarot deck. Then I'm going to do that for all of them. And then I'm going to see what I got and who I actually was reading for. So I'm not going to know who I'm reading for. So I'm going to be completely objective. And then, because I put myself in there as well, I'm actually going to give myself a reading, and it's going to be objective. That's one way you can give yourself a really objective reading. I don't really know any other ways how to do it other than tricking yourself into not knowing when you're reading for yourself. But then again, if you do want to give yourself a reading and you do want to actually know that it is yourself you're reading for, that's not a bad thing either, because you know the context of what the card means in the context of your life, so it can work really well. Sometimes subjective readings is not as bad, but sometimes it's good to be completely objective, because then you see something, maybe you'll get a really good idea that you would have missed if you didn't do the objective way. So I'm also going to pull a major arcana stone to see what sort of life lesson we're going through. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the actors first. So my favorite actor. So basically, I love British crime drama, and my absolute favorite one is Murphy's Law. I'm rewatching it on Amazon Prime at the moment. So James Nesbitt, he's my favorite actor. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and he's someone who is really good at everything he does. Like, I think he can play music as well, and he's probably also producing now. He's just multi-skilled, and he can play any character. He can play funny, he can play mean. I think one of his roles was Jekyll and Hyde. Like, he can be anyone he wants to be, which is really a temperance, You can be hot, cold, you can be gentle, you can be hard, you can be just pure intellect, or you can just be pure intuition. You can be whatever you want. With temperance, you can blend many opposite characters and turn them into a much more unique and interesting character. And I think in Murphy's Law, he did that so beautifully. I absolutely love that show. So James Nesbitt, he's going to be King of Cups. He has mastered, he really has mastered acting, but I think he's also someone who's good at producing. I'm not sure if he's producing, but just tuning into his personality, I think he's someone who could be a very good producer as well. My other favorite actor is probably even more my favorite actor, actually. And he's been in lots of movies. He's been in The Matchmaker. He's been in Harry Potter. He's unreal. So to me, if acting was a person, if the art of acting decided to become a person, they would become David O'Hara. So David O'Hara, I absolutely love and respect you. You are so good at your job. He was in Braveheart as well as a Mad Irishman, so absolutely love David O'Hara. Okay, when I was growing up, I had an absolute obsession with a soccer star, to the point where I'm sure my mom wanted to put me through some psychological evaluation at some point. I was obsessed with soccer, and I was so obsessed with this soccer star. And I think it peaked when I was 14. There was not a spot on the wall that wasn't a Ruud Gullit poster. I had Ruud Gullit bedsheet. I was thinking about Ruud Gullit stuff 24/7. So I used to follow all of his teams. So he played for Milan. So I was like obsessed with Milan. Then he played for Chelsea. So I became obsessed with Chelsea. And then I was obsessed with the Dutch national team. Everything Ruud Gullit, I was obsessed with it. And because we lived in a time when there wasn't a lot of, especially where we were living in a very small Arctic town, there was no like school counselors or child psychologists or anything. But I'm sure if there had been anything available like that, my mom would have had me submitted for testing, because I was so obsessed with Ruud Gullit that I have never been that obsessed with anything in my life. And it wasn't until I had my first boyfriend that I fell in love for the first time that I got over that obsession. And to me, Ruud Gullit, he became also manager, managed Chelsea, and he's managed other soccer teams, and he always gave good advice about soccer. He's doing, commenting, and he's a real star, He's still extremely involved in the soccer world. He's extremely charismatic, so he's definitely a King of Wands character. So that's my King of Wands. And then I want to blend myself in there as Queen of Wands because I love to teach. So Queen of Wands is a teacher type, and if she has a passion, she wants to teach it. So I'm gonna just shuffle in here, so I don't know who is who. And then we're gonna have a look, and then we'll find out. And then we'll see, maybe I'll know, maybe I'll pick up intuitively who it is. And when it comes to, I'm going to tell a funny story about the Ruud Gullit thing, because the law of attraction must work in some fun ways. Years later, when I was a little bit older, like I was 19, and I lived in a town called Tromsø. And then my soccer obsession days were behind me, but I must have, while I was in it, I must have put something out there into the universe to be manifested. That took a few years for it to come to fruition, but basically during the UEFA qualifiers, something really crazy happened where my little soccer team from the town that I lived in managed in some crazy way to qualify for this cup. And then they ended up actually being in the Chelsea group. And Ruud Gullit was then managing Chelsea, so they actually, the whole team, and Ruud Gullit and everything ended up in my little Arctic town. And, you can imagine how happy I was, because even though I wasn't as obsessed as I used to be, Ruud Gullit will always be with me. Like, that was such a huge part of my teenage years that I'm never gonna forget about Ruud Gullit. And I was 19 at the time, so I, of course, were at the airport. I was outside the hotel, and I got photographs, I got autographs, and it was just such a cool kind of completion to that whole thing. So there is actually pictures of Chelsea playing Tromsø in the snow, and because it was snow, it was like a blistering snowstorm. Then Chelsea actually managed to lose to Tromsø because they didn't know how to play on ice and snow. So Tromsø had an advantage and they won. And Ruud Gullit was not very happy. I think he had a bit of a tantrum, and even when he came off the plane, I think he like slipped and fell in the snow. Like, it was just so crazy. And when it was Tromsø's turn to play Chelsea in London, of course, I think they lost like 10-0 or something like that. Or more. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But yes. Okay, guys. So I'm going to start with this one here. So I don't know who that is. That's the whole point, is that you don't know. So now I'm going to do a general reading for that person. So 4 of Pentacles. So this is someone who is very good with money. So this is sort of a business person. Someone who is a good saver and who thinks about things, especially when it comes to money and how this is going to cost them. How, they like to do research into things before they invest themselves. I don't think this is an impulsive person, not an impulsive personality. So got King of Cups. So I would say this is someone who's on top of their game a little bit, and someone who has a lot to offer and probably has a lot of offers coming to them, who can choose, who can be choosy. I get King of Swords crossing here, so that means that this person could have actually been crossed by someone. So they could be in some kind of conflict with somebody. We'll see what the three first cards are the most important. We get a third king, so this is definitely an authority, a very strong authority, a leadership person. So King of Wands here means that this is someone who definitely needs to have more fun with things. So they could be at a bit of a crossroad, not knowing what to do. So they could have more than one offer. So what they need to do is to really just follow their spirit in this one and do what would make them feel alive. So take the project that makes you feel like you're coming alive and that it's fun to go to work every day. This is an old soul, someone who were wise beyond years, as you know, when they were growing up. God, all four kings showed up, so this is definitely an authority. And it could be, at this point, it could be, it could be Ruud Gullit, it could be James Nesbitt, and it could be David O'Hara. I'd be very surprised if this is me. King of Pentacles, so this is someone who has good financial standing and who really is mastering the world of the material. Probably someone who lives a little bit luxurious. Here's so 5 of Cups. So this one here could be a little bit linked to King of Swords, feeling a bit betrayed by somebody. Could be even a friend who they feel is crossing them or betraying them. Feeling let down by someone that they trusted and believed in. And there's time for rest now. Time for rest and recuperation. And this person is slowing down, wanting to slow down, and maybe they feel like they can't slow down. But this is definitely someone who needs more rest, and who needs to chill out. But this is the seeker now in the now. So this person could actually be thinking even of retiring. 7 of Cups is this is in others' position. So this is someone they're influenced by, someone who's very dreamy. It can also be the environment that they're in. And remember how I said there was a lot of options and a lot of choices at the moment presenting itself. So they could be in an environment that always presents itself with new options. So maybe they're taking a step back. Surprises. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles can be a new love interest. And if they're not single, it can still be new surprises coming in relationships. So I'm getting Ace of Cups at the end. So it could actually be a new relationship for this person. And it's James Nesbitt. So I think it could be love and romance in the card for James Nesbitt. So love and romance. And like I said, he's definitely a leadership role. There is no surprises that he got all 4 kings. He's extremely successful. This is someone who wise beyond his years. I have to check if he has a 9 in his numerology somewhere. But he would have been way ahead of everybody his age. Like when he was growing up, he was way ahead. He also get it with a 1. So it means, he's successful. He's extremely successful. And he can go more on the creative now because he has had so much success that he can play a little bit on the creative side. Like he doesn't have to take jobs so he can, feel secure in his acting career. Like he's way past that. Like this guy is an absolute legend. And he also gets good cards for expanding on his living situation. So maybe there is much more there's much more interesting things happening in his personal relationships, but there is old grief and maybe disappointments in both friendships and past relationships that has perhaps made him feel like he needs to play much more safer when it comes to personal relationships. But also, as we got all the court cards and we got cups, and you learn this if you do the arrows course, or if you do the bundle, you learn it there as well. There are no 2s. No 2. And then the number 2 is not showing up, but everything else is showing up. Cups and court cards. Cups are our emotions. Court cards are the people we love and care about. And there are no 2s. Then it means that maybe they are not they're not focusing on relationship, and you can kind of see that here in Four of Swords. Like he's just kind of taking a step back a little bit. So he's thinking more about other things, like he's thinking maybe of maybe slowing down and retiring and doing other things, you know, other things other than maybe what he's been doing. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to do now. I even think he could consider, he might even consider retiring from acting, which would be a shame, I think, because I absolutely love him. Now, I don't think I was meant to look, obviously, because now I know I was not meant to look until the end, but yes. Okay, so next one, I must remember not to look. I was just too curious, I couldn't help myself. Okay, the next one is this one, not looking. You know, it can't be James Nesbitt. Three of Cups. So this is someone who's social, loves to party, probably like the life of the party as well. So in situation, we get Knight of Swords. So that can mean that he's in some kind of intellectual environment. People are very cerebral. People are very educated. People are always throwing in new ideas. So it's like an environment with full of ideas. Seven of Pentacles in block can mean that one feel that you work extremely hard for the rewards that you're reaping. So it's almost like you work so hard for the rewards that maybe you feel like, oh, is it even any point? Like, it's so hard. Maybe you run out of resources. Maybe you are spending more than you're earning. Maybe also other people are getting the credit for your hard work. Advice, Four of Cups. So Four of Cups means when it comes in an advice position, it means that you need to sit down and think very carefully what sort of life you're living. Look at Three of Cups here, and here he's looking at the Three of Cups. And then there's someone here reaching out that he's not seeing. There's like something new coming here, but he's not seeing it. He's just seeing this. So this basically means to look at what you're doing. Is the environment you're in the environment that you want to be in? Is it even good for you? Do you need to maybe have a lifestyle change? Maybe you need to slow down a little bit. Maybe you're living too much on the fast lane. In the past, this person has always been a hard worker, always been one to look for the details, someone who can get a little bit almost obsessed with the details, who really loves the craft, who never feels like they stop learning, who always wants to learn more. So I'm thinking David O'Hara with this one. This is someone who's incredibly talented, incredibly gifted. Page of Swords. If you've done my court card, course, you know that what I've said about this card. This is a genius in the deck. It is incredibly talented at what they're doing, but they often don't get the acclaim for it. And here we see that is now a problem, a little bit for the seeker in this situation. So that they're making headway in the industry that they're in, but for some reason they might not get the reward for it. And so this is often a character who can be any age and any gender, who in whatever field that they're in whatever it is that they're doing, they're the best at it, and they're very naturally gifted at so many things. Things seem so easy to them. When people look at this person, everything seems effortlessly, and that's why they often miss out on the rewards, because it looks like it didn't take much for them to achieve it. Future, Hanged Man. So Hanged Man really works with this one. So Hanged Man, this is someone who will go on a bit of a journey to think very deeply about things, where they're at in their lives, where they want to go, what they've done so far, what's important to them, what's not important to them. They're going to reevaluate their lives. So Empress. So this is someone who is abundant, and who is very strong and very loving and caring. On a negative, they're also very, maybe almost too independent, and maybe they feel a bit alone. Maybe they feel like there's a little bit of separation between them and others. Think about the Empress. Who can an Empress trust? That an Empress has to always be careful who they trust. And on the negative, the Empress become very distrusting and cynical. So this is someone who works hard, who's in a working environment a lot of the time, and who works at the craft, who's a crafty person. This is someone who has a craft. There's a completion coming and a possible move to another country, or there's an influence from another country. That will be a complete surprise. Get the Justice here. So this person, with Justice, there's always a bit of karma. There's a bit of karmic stuff getting resolved. So if there's any kind of legal problems as well, with the world in surprise position, it means it could be taken care of. As of magic, and it will come as a complete surprise because it is a completion. I'm so tempted to see who that is. Oh my god, I'm so tempted. I'm gonna put it. Go over there, but I'm extremely tempted. Okay, now I'm going to read for this one. So, King of Swords, the bottom. So, strong personality. Reading for a strong personality here. Get King of Cups. So, this is someone who is in an environment where there's a lot of confident people. Very skilled people as well. Judgment in crossing. That can mean that maybe there's a lack of judgment and there's a lack of maybe lack of good judgment. So maybe misjudging situations, misjudging characters a little bit. 9 of Wands means that there's something they need to stick out in their life that hasn't been great, that hasn't been good. But it has taught them to be very resilient. So maybe they feel like there's been some harsh judgment on them. Maybe they feel judged. Maybe they feel like people haven't been very loving or understanding. But really what they need to do is to be this is a strong person, I feel. And they definitely can reach their highest level because you're getting Kings with 9. And this thing then becomes actually not a negative card. It is just that they're challenged by this situation. So 9 of Wands then basically mean they need to stick this up because they can handle this situation. It's just that they maybe think that they can't. So in the past, this person has been someone who's thought a lot about all different things, not a competitive person at all. This is someone who's like a dreamy, living a little bit in the dream world, but not aggressive or competitive in any way. They were probably just a very loving child. 4 of Cups means that they probably feel a little bit underwhelmed, a little bit not so, perhaps as stimulated as what they wish they could be. There's something a little bit lacking, and maybe they feel like the environment, like they just don't feel like they're getting the big thrills out of life anymore. But good news, the Sun. The situation is passing and there is great success coming and a whole new life for this person. So that's good news. 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups means that this person is getting what they want. They have people that are very supportive and loving to them. And they always know how to get what they want. But sometimes when someone always gets what they want, they don't appreciate it. But this is definitely someone who knows how to be a smooth talker, I would say. Someone who knows how to charm people. Extremely charming person here. This is someone extremely charming. 5 of Pentacles. That can mean that there's someone around them is not well. Maybe it can be someone that they're close to, or they're in an environment, even in a country perhaps, where people are quite unwell. 10 Ten of Pentacles. So I think there's more family stuff coming in for this person. There's more stability in a close family unit. And Four of Pentacles means that this person really wants stability. They want stability more than anything else. But if you have studied the arrows with me, you see straight away what is lacking in this situation. And that is, you get the Fours, and you get the Pentacles, which means that they're committed, they're in a routine that, you know, is most likely serving them in some way, especially when you get Nine of Cups with, you know, you got the Sun and everything. But they're not trusting in their life at the moment, and that's what the problem is. There's no trust. They need to learn to trust that the path that they're on is the right one for them, because it's almost like they feel like taking the wrong path. So they need to follow really truly in their heart what they believe is the true path. So this person feel like they have taken a wrong turn somewhere, and they're not living their path, or they're not living their life that they really should be living. Like, it's almost like they feel like in the wrong place with the wrong people, or there's something that's a bit off. And at the moment, what I think the card is trying to say is like, you need to protect what you already have, and be very careful who you let into your life at the moment. You need to have very good judgment, because the people in your life that you are kind of noticing are maybe not exactly the right ones for you at this stage, but there's new people coming in, and that they are the people you can make a heart connection with. And that's why you get 10 of Pentacles in this, in the surprise position. So this person is probably going through a little bit of almost like a bit of a, you know, they're questioning everything and they're doubting. So they need to readjust and be really honest with themselves what they actually want. Okay, the last one. Ten of Wands. Page of Wands means big personality at play, and Ten of Wands means extremely hard work, but not many people to rely on. So not someone who likes to delegate. Page of Wands, big personalities at play, a lot of fun as well. What's blocking is Three of Cups. So Three of Cups can mean that there's something a little bit wrong with the environment that this person is in. Like, it means that someone could be a bit nasty, or that someone is doing wrong things, or it's like could be only one person ruining for the group, or it could be like being part of some kind of a dysfunctional group in some way, or there's something with the group that needs to be a bit more better, like a bit more functional. Ace of Wands means I should really consider having a brand new beginning and a brand new project, but not share it with too many people. Keep it a little bit to self, because there are other people here that perhaps would not honor this person's wishes. Four of Wands in distant past. And that can mean that this person grew up in a very specific way, in an environment that was kind of like was very traditional in many ways. Three of Wands means this person is looking for something new coming here, and they're waiting for the ships to come in, basically, and they are going to move forward soon in their lives. Now we already got an arrow here of progress, because we got threes and we got a page and we got swords. So again, if you want to learn this, you can learn it on my arrows course or the bundle. When you have a lot of threes, that is a very good number for moving forward and having a lot of like flow, and things are just lightening up, and you put less effort in and you have better results, because there is more fun in communication, and that lightens everything up. There's more humor in place, there's more laughter. With pages, you get a lot of enthusiasm, and with the enthusiasm comes again, positive energy. So this 3 of Cups becomes less of a block because it aligns really well with the other cards. So even though maybe the group, there could be 1 or 2 people in the group, or maybe in a community even, that is toxic, overall I would say it's a positive group then. And with 6 of Swords, you have moving forward, but it's also being able to use your mind, and it's intellectual stimulation. So 10 of Swords, that means that this person could feel like at a rock bottom at the moment when it comes to how they live their life. So maybe they just feel like they hit some kind of like wall, or they know they can't continue the way they've been going. So something new, they're going to move past or move beyond what they're doing at the moment. King of Swords, so they're in an environment with someone who's very cerebral and very strong. And also, I would say black and white. So it's like black and white kind of environment. No shades of grey. And also I would say if this is the environment, that it can be a bit judgmental environment as well. And with all the ones, so 1 in numerology, 1 in numerology, and a king, again, you have to read it in more of a positive light, because that's an arrow of success. So it means that even though it's almost like someone is stepping in to give guidance, and the seeker realizes what they've been doing is not going to bring much success. So they're getting an expert to look at it, and the expert is guiding forward because the seeker has hit a bit of a wall, and they will have more success. They will move forward. Wherever they're hitting their head into like a wall, whatever is the frustration, they'll move past that. 2 of Pentacles, so they continue to juggle their life. They probably have 2 areas of their life that they are working on. But they really enjoy the fun communication. That's at the heart of everything, I think, with this person here. But I think they work too hard and they hit some kind of wall. Could be like their health has suffered as well a little bit. Maybe they feel that they have no support really. So they need to get some almost like advice from a professional, almost, to come in and say, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you should be doing. Let's have a look which one was which. We already know James Nesbitt. Okay, so let's have a look at who the second person was. Here are the cards, and it was Ruud Gullit. I thought it was actually David O'Hara. So this here would be the intellectual environment, would be the media that he is involved in, commentating on the sports, analyzing sport. The craft, it's the football, it's actually soccer. I thought maybe it was acting. Page of Swords would be, being involved in management, playing, the media, all those, juggling all of that. It takes a very special person to be able to do all of that. But he's doing a lot for little at the moment, and maybe he's always been someone who takes on more responsibility. So wherever, even though he's had high salaries and everything, he's always gone beyond what he had to do. Like, he's always reached far beyond to really take responsibility, I feel, for what he does. But maybe he also felt let down at the same time. So it's interesting to see here with the Justice card at the end. I feel like he's definitely had to work on his boundaries. And I'm gonna draw a card with that. Maybe he also will be involved a little bit in outside of sport and media. Maybe he's going to get more involved in world events and things like that. We did get the world card here. So how is this justice karmic thing going to play out in his life? We'll ask the rune cards. But he does, when you look at the arrows method, he has 3 threes. No, actually it's 4 threes. So the world is a 3 in numerology. We got 3 of Pentacles. We got the Empress, that's a 3 in numerology. We got the Hanged Man, that's a 3 in numerology. When you get a lot of 3s like that, it basically means that life is fun. Life is a lot of fun. And there's more humor, more fun. But when you have also swords, that means that you also have intellectual stimulation to use that energy, to use that positive energy, that you actually know what to do with it, to manifest with it and to create with it. And when you get one of the pages on top, it means that you also have the right people around you that are enthusiastic in the same way you are. So I feel like he can achieve quite a lot. So Suvel at the bottom, she's success. And I got Manas, humans, hierarchy, awareness. So he could possibly use his fame, or to highlight issues that he thinks are important. But he's definitely someone who is a strong manifester, I feel. Let's pull here. What sort of energy is he in overall? I got the Sun. So he's just he's a very successful, positive, happy person. Naturally a happy person who has a lot of passion. Like, he loves life. He's a passionate person. Okay, so it was David O'Hara. David O'Hara, my favorite actor. Absolutely love and adore him. I did notice what was I said the issue here, no queens. Okay, so when you learn to read with the arrows, you look for numbers and card combinations connecting to numbers and elements. So with a lot of pentacles and fours, in numerology, 4 is all about commitment and stability. So when you have a good routine, when there are a lot of pentacles showing up, then you have a routine. And then there are no queens showing up, and queens mean that you're trusting in your life and you feel a deep connection to your life. And when there's a disconnect, it's almost like you when there are no queens showing up, it's almost like you feel like you're living a life that's not even yours. However, we did get double 9 with court cards. We got 3 major arcana cards, which means that he can be more in the flow and he will fall on his feet. So he could take more chances and more risks, and he would actually be better for it. But I think he's quite conservative in, he's not that comfortable taking risks. But he could take a bit of a risk when it comes to experiencing new things, even though he definitely has to protect what he has and everything. It's not that, but it's like he has to find a balance with protecting himself and also trying something new and being a bit vulnerable in a new situation, because he gets the success card and he also get it with a king, which means there will be great success in his life, and it's coming. And there's also more financial security for him there. I'm gonna pull one of these for him. Got the Sun there as well. Got the Sun for the second time, so success is coming for you, David O'Hara. And you're someone who I wish would get your own TV show. I think you are an absolute star. I just really want you to have your own TV show. You be your own lead character and have like 50 seasons. I think you're so much better than the other people that are getting their own TV shows. I think you're miles ahead of them. In what area of your life will you have this success? I got success there as well. Notice need. necessities, chores. So it's actually in an area of your life that you have tried to avoid. And it's in an environment, I think it's in this environment. So this is probably, you're going to have to face a fear, and you're going to feel maybe completely out of your comfort zone. But there's a way of moving forward where you don't risk everything. So this is someone who is a bit vulnerable in a new situation, but they protect everything that they have. So you can move forward in a new environment that maybe is completely a challenge you and triggering deep fears in you. And you can still have safety, and you will definitely land on your feet. So, yes. So now we know that the last one was me, and I want to pull one of these. I think this is the Hierophant. I pulled one this morning and I got the Hierophant then. So the Hierophant, traditions and being very conservative and traditional in how I proceed is going to be successful. Let's pull a card here as well. Rider, so moving forward. I remember I got 6 of Swords in my future. Kena, so I want to move forward with teaching, which is here, and also speaks of teaching and studying. I am both the student and the teacher. I'm studying media, and I'm an art teacher and a teacher also. I love to be in that environment of learning, whether it is giving information or receiving. That is what I live for. So the Hierophant is very appropriate. If you want to have a look at your favorite people on the planet, you can even choose people that you know, and you can do exactly what I do now. Just remember who is who when you pick the characters, and you get to see something that you maybe wouldn't have been able to pick up because you may be too, you know too much, and it gets in the way of your reading. So what did I learn about myself doing this is that I have to look at, I need to let someone help me with my business, because I am trying to do everything myself. I don't know how to delegate. I don't know how to let someone come in and help. So that's something I need to let go of, holding on to everything so tightly. I need to let that go. That's a belief that I need to know when and how to let it go. And the how is really important, because letting things go and just, that's not in my personality. I'm not going to do that. But knowing how to let some part of it go to the right person that can help. So I'm extremely excited. This month I'm going to WordCamp, and I'm going to learn much more about WordPress, which I'm using, and get ideas from other people who do exactly what I do, but in other niches and other interests. Basically, it's all about turning a hobby into a career using WordPress. So you blog about what you love. You turn your hobby into your business, basically. So, and every time I go to a WordPress meetup, I learn something so valuable, an idea that I didn't even think about. Like, it's so valuable to me. And I'm extremely excited about going to WordCamp. It's going to be a weekend filled with people who are entrepreneurs, and they know how to, the tech people as well, and they teach you how to run everything yourself, which I love. I'm also studying media, but more through a computer again, like a computer lens, like of making your own programs and things like that. And I also want to study, I also started studying how to become an illustrator, because I think that will really help me when I make my decks. And also what I want to study now is animations. I can make meditations and make animations to make my meditations come alive. And also I have a book that I made for children that I want to turn into a movie. So that's all of my projects. And actually, if I hadn't read objectively for myself, I wouldn't have known how far I have gone, how far I have let myself go when it comes to holding on to things and I'm actually trying to hold everything together. But then King of Swords were right there, looking, someone there who will help and support me. And I need to start knowing which projects I have to focus on at the time, and also get the right people in to help. So that I wouldn't have seen that, and I would have just continued on the way I have been. So I need to write a business plan. I need to write a future plan where I'm heading with all of these, and so that's how the tarot can help you guys. If you see something you're doing wrong, or you see where you're on completely the wrong track, you can make the changes, and it's really a benefit to you in your life. So guys, let me know how you go with this. Bye guys.